Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Wisconsin.
They file into Miller Park on a Monday night. The home schedule in the regular season is coming near an end. It's the Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. Game one of a three-game series. Brewers dropped 2 out of 3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and starting play today, the Brew Crew 2.5 back of the Cubs, 3 in the loss column. But they are 3 games clear in the loss column to the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Central and in the wild card race. Take a look at what's coming up for the Brewers. 3 games against the Reds. Then they go on a road trip to Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Back for 3 more to finish the season. Interleague baseball against the Detroit Tigers. 12 games remain, 6 at home, 6 on the road. And hi, everybody. With that, we welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder and Sophia Minard, our reporter. We'll hear from her in just a moment. Well, the Brewers took one on the chin against the Pirates, had a bad weekend, good start to the series, then dropped the last 2. Now they get the Reds in town and rock. This is a team the Brewers have had a lot of success against.
Yeah, last couple of days against the Pirates, the guys weren't able to get a whole lot going. Now, offenses are going to come and go. That's for every team, but it couldn't be a better time to face the Cincinnati Reds, where the Brewers have really swung the bats. Last 6 games, a .338 batting average. You remember in that stretch, Christian Yelich had a 6-for-6 night, so hopefully that's going to continue. 6 runs a game. The Brewers for this season have 26 home runs against a Cincinnati pitching staff that has struggled all year. They got one of the worst starting rotation earned run averages in the big league, so hopefully the Brewers are going to get well offensively, because the pitching has been terrific for the Brewers just about the entire second half.
Anthony DeSclafani will get the ball for the Cincinnati Reds. He has really struggled in his last 5 starts. Big difference, though, with these 2 teams. The Reds playing essentially pressure-free baseball. The Brewers dialed into a pennant race here in late September. Wade Miley gets the call for the Brewers tonight. The lefty has been excellent. Sophia Minard sat down with Wade yesterday. We'll have that coming up next as we march our way to first pitch.
Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
A gorgeous Monday night. Still feels like summer in mid-September here in Milwaukee. Fans getting ready for the start of this three-game series, the final meeting between the Brewers and the Reds. And taking a look at tonight's starter, Wade Miley. He's been terrific over his last 3 starts. He's gone 2-0 with a 1.96 earned run average and a 1.88 opponent average. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park, and Wade Miley has been one of the most consistent starters for the Brewers so far this season. In 12 of his 13 starts this year, he has given up 2 runs or less, and he has continued that success against the Reds. In 2 starts against them, he's gone 1-0. The earned run average, just 1.35. The strikeout to walk ratio, very good as well. 10 strikeouts to just 4 walks. And the Reds having a tough time getting hits off of him with a 170 average. Wade Miley spoke about the success of his cut fastball and also how his off-speed has played into that success as well.
That's just been a huge adjustment for, hitters make adjustments. So I feel like my last couple starts, guys have really been looking in to try to clear the cutter, and which is fine because I've been able to locate the changeup, throw some fastballs away, and just kind of opens that in a little bit up with the cutter because, obviously, statistically, I've thrown the cutter more than like 60% of the time this year. So guys are going to look for it. I just got to be able to just set it up a little bit better and a little more with softer stuff away and even mixing in fastballs.
Wade Miley looks to continue his success on the mound, but in this series, we're featuring a couple hitters going for National League batting title. We'll tell you more about the 2 Brewers who are involved in that batting title chase when we come back with first pitch and lineups.
Taking over the game, and you know we won't stop, cause we don't feel pain. Now we taking over the game, yeah, we taking over the game, cause now we taking over the game, yeah, we never stop, we don't feel pain.
Got some premium hitters in the ballpark tonight with the Brewers and the Reds. Scooter Gennett is the league leader in batting average at .318. Christian Yelich currently second. Lorenzo Cain checks in today 4th in the league behind Ben Zobrist of the Cubs. So 3 of the top 4 hitters will do battle in this one on a picture-perfect night for baseball. 82 degrees at Miller Park. And this 3-game series with the Cincinnati Reds getting underway tonight. Jim Riggleman, the skipper of the Cincinnati Reds, interim manager, took over for Brian Price in the month of April, and they've actually played better, and they played decent under Jim Riggleman. Had a dreadful start to the year, but Riggleman, longtime baseball man. This is a Reds ball club that checks in at 64 and 86 on the year. They are in 5th place in the division. Potawatomi batting order with Scott Schebler leading off. Jose Peraza batting 2nd. Joey Votto hits 3rd. In the middle is Suarez, Jeanette, and Phillip Ervin. Kurt Casale, Anthony DeSclafani, the pitcher, batting 8th, with Billy Hamilton in center field and batting 9th. And that's the lineup that will match up against left-hander Wade Miley.
Yeah, he's been terrific in 13 starts, a .223 earned run average, a 4-2 record. Against the Reds, he's 4-2 in his career in 9 starts. 1-0 this year. He's only allowed 2 runs in 13 and a third innings against Cincinnati this year. Outstanding work against the Reds.
Schebler back in that leadoff spot for the Reds here tonight, and the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Away we go. Schebler with 17 home runs on the season. Reds are coming off a series against the Chicago Cubs where they dropped 2 of 3. They did win yesterday, and that has allowed the Brewers to remain 2.5 back. It was interesting stuff from Sophia with Wade Miley that was recorded yesterday about his pitch arsenal and how he's able to change his arsenal depending on what the numbers show, and apparently a little cutter heavy, but he's been able to use the changeup effectively off that cutter. And if you're wondering why Wade Miley has had the turnaround that he has had this year, he's been able to command those 2 pitches.
Man, he hasn't been walking a lot of guys. 3 walks his last time out against the Cubs at Wrigley.
There's a shot, but the shift is on. Right there is Arcia. Nice and easy, and a good way to start the night for Wade Miley on a 6-3 ground out.
Well, let's check out the Brewers defense. You got Yelich, Kane, Granderson getting a start out in right field. So Curtis Granderson, another left-handed bat in that lineup. Moustakas Arcia on the left side, Shaw Aguilar on the right side, and Eric Kratz once again gets the start behind home plate.
Brewers didn't have much offense yesterday until the 9th inning. Those back-to-back home runs from Aguilar and Santana. Losing 2 out of 3 to the Pirates. The first time the Brewers have lost a series in about a month. Got to go back to mid-August, the last time the Brewers had even lost back-to-back games.
They've been playing some terrific baseball, consistent baseball. Not the big winning streaks, but winning series is going to get it done.
Miley misses with a fastball on Jose Peraza. You wonder how good the Brewers have been lately. So their last 25 games in crunch time when they needed a push, the Brewers 17 wins, only 8 losses. That is the best record in the National League in the last 25 games.
Yep, and the pitching continues to be very good. Bullpen in particular. Greg Counsell hasn't asked a whole lot out of his starters, at least not any length in the starting rotation as far as the starts go, but they've been keeping the opposition off the board.
3-0 is the count. There's a strike to Peraza, the Red shortstop.
And one thing about that interview with Sophia, you don't really see pitchers be that candid about their stuff all that often, right? 60% cutters, saying he needs to, command outside, then that'll open up that cutter a little bit more. Guys kind of keep that stuff close to their vest, but not Wade.
He's had a terrific year. 2 stints on the disabled list to start the year. Frustrating to get his season going. Was injured in spring training the 3rd week, and then injured an oblique once he finally came back. Had the long rehab to come back, and then only lasted 2 starts before he went back on the disabled list. But he's been a mainstay ever since, and he comes all the way back to strike out Peraza, who has a double take for the home plate umpire John Tumpane on his way out.
I'm just asking maybe if it was a strike or not. That's that cut fastball from Miley, 89 miles an hour, just enough movement to get the bat off of it. You see Peraza over the top of it. Good pitch. The bread and butter for Wade Miley.
Miley tonight making start number 14 of the year. A big swing and a miss by Joey Votto. This will be a key matchup, as it always is with the Brewers and the Reds, with Joey Votto in there. Last time around, Matter of fact, the last 2 series against Cincinnati, we didn't see much of Joey Votto. He did return in the finale of the last series in Cincinnati at the end of the month. He had been out with a leg injury, was hit by a pitch on the knee, and it knocked him out for a couple of weeks. He was on the disabled list the last time the Reds were in Milwaukee.
It's always a lot easier to get through this lineup, which is typically pretty good. I mean, even on paper, it's a good lineup, but the Reds right now not swinging the bats all that well. Yeah, Cubs kept the offense down. On base percentage for Votto off the charts again. It's a typical year for him.
They see Lorenzo Cain right there behind him, second in the league in on base percentage. Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Reds last time around. That was in Cincinnati, August 28th through the 30th. A week prior to that, they won 2 out of 3 here at Miller Park, August 20th through the 22nd. And the season series skews in favor of the Brewers as well. They've gone 11-5 this year. Brewers went 11-8 against the Reds last season, and you hate to say it, and baseball players don't really talk this way, but a team that has come in here in last place in the division, the Brewers, at this point of the schedule, they feel like they must win this series, and you almost got to get a little greedy and try to sweep the Reds.
Well, you got to win them all. I mean, 3 of the last 4 series are against teams that are under 500. Not that that means anything when the game starts.
Votto in the air to center field. That'll be routine for Cain. And that will retire the side. And a good start for Wade Miley. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout. Here come the Brewers. We head to the bottom of the first. Native managing his hometown team, trying to take that team to the postseason in the Craig Counsell era. 3rd full season as the manager of the Brewers, 4th year overall, and the Brewers come in with a record of 85-65. Potawatomi batting order has Curtis Granderson at the top, and Granderson ready to lead off for the 4th time. Brewers are 2-1 with Granderson in that leadoff spot. First pitch from Anthony DeSclafani, strike 1.
You see the earned run average of 480. His last few have not been very good, including his last time out. He got beat by the Dodgers, 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs against DeSclafani, who didn't make his first start this year until June.
Granderson got in the game yesterday as a pinch hitter, not in the starting lineup in yesterday's matchup. He's been effective in that leadoff spot. His most memorable game thus far as a Brewer was in the leadoff spot against the Chicago Cubs last Wednesday. Had a homer and a triple in that game. Had 3 hits.
Shuffle the batting order a little bit, see if you can get something going. That's what Craig Counsell's doing tonight.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Granderson, did he go? He did not. Count goes full. Granderson's hit 13 homers, 11 of those coming as a Blue Jay. He's hit 2 as a Brewer, 1 here at Miller Park, the other at Wrigley Field. And a called strike 3. Granderson on the outside corner takes a backwards K, and out number 1 for DeSclafani.
Now let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. Home runs should be an issue. Wade Miley's only given up 3 in his 13 starts. Hasn't given up a homer since August 18th. That was at St. Louis. DeSclafani's given up 20 of them in 18 starts. And Craig Counsell, as we talk about shaking up the batting order a little bit, they need some offense. They scored only 3 runs last 2 games against the Pirates.
Christian Yelich takes a strike. Big fastball on the outside corner. Yelich had his on base streak snapped yesterday with an 0-for. Was 0 for 4 yesterday. On base streak snapped at 30 consecutive games. That was a hard streak as well. Yelich continues to put up the big numbers. MVP candidate. He and Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros are having the best second halves, and even into September. Both of them have put their name in the MVP discussion, and Yelich with a base hit with 1 away.
Well, that didn't last long, right? Right back at it. A base hit his first time up. Yelich has been pretty good in the first inning this year. Another base hit for him. Check it out, taking a little off, change up, going down and away. Pretty good pitch by DeSclafani, but Yelich able to stay on it, hit it hard into center.
Cerveceros night at the ballpark tonight, by the way. You see the uniforms the Brewers are sporting, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month with a special night tonight. Here's Lorenzo Cain with 1 away. Cain back in the 3 spot tonight, with Granderson in there as the leadoff hitter, and Counsell said he likes Granderson hitting leadoff, thinks that's a good spot for him. Considered other spots in the order, but all the experience that Granderson has hitting leadoff, and Cain certainly flexible to hit second or third, so there's really no issue mixing and matching the lineup, but it does present some interesting combinations on who hits behind whom, right? When Yelich hits in front of Cain, seems like Cain gets a lot more fastballs. Yelich is a base stealer.
Well, it's going to be Shaw behind Cain. Then you have Aguilar down in a little bit more toward the middle of the batting order. Yelich with 19 stolen bases this year, 19 out of 23. That's that slider from DeSclafani. You're going to see a lot of those tonight. He throws a lot of them with 2 strikes. That's the pitch that Granderson was called out on. You know, the slider, the backdoor slider.
DeSclafani out with an oblique injury for most of the first half. He returned June 5th. That was his return to the big league mound. 2 pitchers tonight in DeSclafani and Miley that spent a lot of time on the shelf early in the season. One ball, 2 strikes. They check on Yelich. DeSclafani last pitched against the Brewers on the 28th of August. That was in Cincinnati. Went 6 2/3 in that game, giving up 4 earned runs. There's a called strike 3. A fastball hits the top of the zone. Cain disagrees, but 2 Ks for DeSclafani in this first inning.
Yeah, pretty good location on the 2 called strike 3s tonight. One on Granderson on the outside corner. That one borderline at best. Normally it would be called a ball, but Jonathan Payne rings it up.
Granderson and Cain called out on strikes. 2 gone in the inning, and that'll bring up Travis Shaw now. Shaw hits it hard through, base hit. Yelich will stop at second. Schebler has a cannon for an arm in right. Second hit of the inning. Brewers have something cooking here in the first inning with 2 on and 2 out.
Likes to get ahead with the fastball early in the count, then go with the slider. And with men in scoring position, he'll throw a few more sliders. There it is, fastball down, not a bad pitch. But as we've seen all season long, it's exactly where Shaw likes it, down around the knees. And it drops the head on it, base hit in the right.
Shaw 0 for 3 yesterday, starts his night against the Reds with a base hit. And it sets up Aguilar, whose last swing was a home run yesterday. That home run by Jesus was his first in the month of September. He homered the last day of August in Washington, D.C. against the Nationals. Had been in somewhat of a home run drought. Don't see Aguilar go a couple of weeks between home runs very often. 32 on the board, 99 RBIs for Aguilar. Pickoff play. Yelich is back.
And he's been fighting a little bit. I mean, not driving that ball to right field as consistently as he was early in the year. And getting that bat start a little bit early.
There are 4 National Leaguers in the triple-digit RBI club. Javi Baez leads the league with 103 of the Cubs. Then you got Story and Arenado, both over 100 with the Rockies. And the Reds have Eugenio Suarez in triple digits. Yesterday, Jesus Aguilar with the Brewers trying to mount a comeback. Got one down and in. And Powerball home run number 32 for Aguilar.
And 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Vasquez, the closer. Next pitch to Domingo Santana. He hit out of the ballpark.
Brewers rally would come up 1 short yesterday. There's a grounder out to short. Peraza will flip to the bag. And a threat in the first comes up empty for the Brewers. We head to the second. No score.
In the Brewers hunt for October, so head out to Miller Park to cheer on the crew as they finish up this 3-game tilt versus the Reds tomorrow and Wednesday. To lock in your seats, go to Brewers.com today.
Note those start times. First pitch 6:40 for the 3 games of this series with the Reds. By the way, was that Tim Dillard in the crowd? I know he was on our pregame show in a coat and tie, but thought he might have slipped into fan mode here. Bouncing ball to short. Arcia takes care of Suarez. Miley has retired the first 4.
I did notice, though, that Tim trimmed up the beard quite a bit.
Oh, that's not Tim. That just looks like his beard.
Yeah, right.
How'd you think he did? What was your evaluation
I think he did great. I mean, I know he and Augie worked pretty well together, and if you can't work with Craig Deshawn, you can't work with anybody. Best in the business.
It's great to have Tim Diller joining our Brewers Live pre and post game this week. What he doesn't know, we just brought him in for our crew party tomorrow. We figured we'd let him do a few games.
Yeah.
Scooter Gennett literally digging in at the plate. And the first pitch from Miley is in there for a strike. Gennett having a great year. He's backed it up. Had a terrific season last season with the Reds, and he's got a chance to win a batting title this year, hitting .318, 22 homers, 88 runs batted in. He is among league leaders among second basemen in Major League Baseball in that category. OPS of .864 coming in. And Rocky's hit lefties well this year.
Yeah.
He's hitting at a .312 clip against left-handed pitchers.
He's an everyday player, and he's leading the league in hitting, so I would imagine he's hitting lefties pretty well. He covers the outside corner very well against lefties and right-handers, and still quick on the inside corner.
Two balls and a strike on Gennett. Reds go left, right, left, right, left to start their batting order. There's a ground ball to second. Travis Shaw is there, and it's 5 in a row for Miley to start his night.
Always good to see those ground ball outs from Wade Miley. That's his game. Keep the ball on the ground. That's one of the reasons why he's only allowed 3 home runs in 13 starts. Has not allowed a home run since August 18th. That was against the Cardinals. Speaks well for that cutter.
2 gone. Here is Phillip Ervin. '67th game in the big leagues this year for Ervin, and he lines one into left. So the first hit of the night for the Reds is a 2-out single by Ervin.
You see he left that cutter up in his zone, and normally they've been down. Not a whole lot of tilt on this one. Check it out. Watch where it ends up. Up in the zone. The other ones have been down near the knees. And Ervin hits it hard into left.
Ervin choking up on the bat as well. Maybe a little Joey Votto influence on some of these Reds hitters. Kurt Casale now for Cincinnati. Gets the call behind the plate for the Reds. Tucker Barnhart is their regular catcher, their captain, the switch hitter. .31-year-old Wade Miley is a Louisiana native. Played his college ball at Southeastern Louisiana in Hammond, Louisiana. Miley's first year as a Brewer has been a success. And you figure that is going to earn him some significant offers. I'm sure the Brewers will be in line to make one of them this offseason. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year.
And he's been a nice surprise. A good mid-season acquisition, right? Coming off the disabled list.
Yeah, it's kind of what it felt like, right? There's a little tap or foul. Miley came back. He made 2 starts. His first start of the year actually came against the Reds. That was back on May 2nd. After he had injured himself a groin injury this spring, and it took him a couple of months to come back. And then his second start against Cleveland, he lasted just a third of an inning, and that's when he injured the oblique. There's a soft liner that's going to fall. Casale with a base hit, and the Reds with 2 hits with 2 outs.
Yeah, 5 up, 5 down to some of the best hitters in the league. Then all of a sudden, now you get down toward the bottom of the order, 2 hits. You just never know. This Reds offense, they can be powerful. Pretty good pitch right there. Looked like a changeup down in the zone. Not much you can do about that. It's exactly where you want it because Sally waited back long enough.
So that'll bring the pitcher to the plate now. The Reds have their pitcher batting 8th. And it is Anthony DeSclafani who can hit a little bit. You have to treat DeSclafani like a position player. And Miley, who has done his homework, you can be certain, will make sure that he works the edges on Anthony DeSclafani, who has homered this year. He's also driven in 4 runs.
And tomorrow's starter for the Reds, not a bad hitter either. Michael Lorenzen's got 4 homers.
4 home runs, 3 of them coming against the Brewers, including a grand slam. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right back to Miley. Fields his position well. He'll take it himself, 1 unassisted to end the inning. And the Reds strand a pair.
And the Reds, the final meeting between these 2 teams, and before the game the question was asked of Craig Counsell, you know, how much all the guys are paying attention with just 12 games left. The Brewers obviously 2.5 games back of the Chicago Cubs, and they find themselves in their final meeting here with the Reds, who are currently at the bottom of the NL Central standings. And he said certainly these are the fun games that you play your way into. He said you fight all season long to be into these positions, to be into these games that matter. And he said that's what creates sort of the daily tension and the fun once the game starts. And then, of course, the scoreboard watching, which he says everyone is doing at this point of the season. And he said specifically for he and the coaching staff during the games, he said the out-of-town scores are directly behind the mound. So he said we are looking at it basically all game long. And he said, you know, it's certainly something that everybody is paying attention to. It's part of the daily routine, and obviously it changes day to day. So he said it always looks a little better when you win the previous day.
Yeah, no question. The Brewers coming off that loss, but the Cubs lost as well. Here's Mike Moustakas starting the inning for the Brewers.
And I guess who you're rooting for, you know, or against, more importantly, changes day to day, because, you know, you had that Dodger-Cardinal series. You're rooting for the Dodgers for a couple of days, and then I think I was thinking pulling for the Cardinals the following day, so that the Brewers would maintain that 3-game cushion.
I appreciate your logic, you know, right there. That takes a lot.
Are you with me?
You got to ditch some of your allegiances when you're in this wild card picture, because
you got to be greedy.
There's a lot going on, a lot of teams to pay attention to. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Down and in, 2-2 the count. The Cardinals have a lead over the Braves tonight. There is no question who you're pulling for in this scenario. So the Cardinals jump out early on Atlanta, 3-0 in the 2nd inning. A 3-run first inning for St. Louis. The Cubs will be on the road tonight. They start a series against Arizona, who is hanging on by a thread. Diamondbacks lost a series in Houston over the weekend, and Arizona is going to need a little bit of help if they're going to make their way back into the picture in the NL West Moustakas a swing and a miss. Out number 1, strikeout number 3 for Anthony DeSclafani.
And DeSclafani's got the 2 fastballs, the 4-seamer, the one that he's been throwing so far tonight. 95, maybe 96 every now and again, the 2-seamer and the slider. Every now and again a change up to lefties, but he's got a free and easy motion and got that one by Moustakas up in the zone.
Well, there's no question about DeSclafani's stuff. His numbers recently are not good, but he's kind of that work in progress pitcher for the Reds. You could see him turn into a very good major league starter. I mean, he's got a live arm, big fastball. He's got a sharp slider. That was it right there at 89 miles an hour. There's a lot to like about DeSclafani, but command has been part of the problem. And not necessarily the walks either, but command in the strike zone has been part of the issue with him too. Too many good strikes.
Well, he's given up 20 home runs in 18 starts. I mean, that tells you that he's getting a little bit too much of the plate. And really, I think the one thing that has really not benefited him too much, he doesn't have really that big off-speed pitch, the curveball. Doesn't throw many changeup. Everything has some sharpness to it. Everything hard.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and Kratz takes a ball high, 2-2. Eric had a couple of hits yesterday, was 2 for 4. Mostly a quiet day offensively for the Brewers until that 9th inning, but Kratz did have a couple of hits. Kratz comes in batting .249.
And he's been getting the majority of the playing time, you know, behind home plate. Been getting more of these starts at behind home plate than Pena as of late. Kratz hit the ball hard a couple of times last night or yesterday, double and a single.
Here's a 2-2. Kratz in the air, right field. And backing up on it, Schebler. He's there to make the play. It'll be out number 2 for DeSclafani. So that brings up Orlando Arcia. He is in our BP Brighter picture tonight. Arcia had a double yesterday, was 1 for 2 at the plate. And his last 3 games, he has 4 hits. He has 2 doubles. One of those doubles was a bunt double. Pushed it down the first base line to drive in 2 runs.
And he's had real good success this year against the Reds. Hitting .344 against Cincinnati this year.
Arcia is 3 for 8 against this pitcher, DeSclafani. Has drawn a walk as well. If the Brewers get production out of the bottom of their order, it completely changes the dynamic of the lineup. Then you get base runners on for the heavy hitters like Yelich and Kane and Shaw, Aguilar. Those are the days when the Brewers can put some big runs on the board, when the bottom of their order is contributing.
Get the top of the order on with some men on base.
Arcia has worked it into a 3-1 count. There are 2 outs in this 2nd inning, and Arcia right off the end of the bat foul.
Swinging fastball, got the slider down the middle. Well, if Arcia can lay off that slider off the plate, I mean, he's normally pretty good, but that's been a difficult thing for him, especially with 2 strikes.
Wade Miley due next, the Brewer pitcher. 3-2. Arcia ground ball to short. Nice and easy on the hop to Peraza. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for DeSclafani. 2 in the books. No score at Miller Park. We head to the 3rd. on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Starting a 3-game series with the Reds tonight. We are scoreless as we head to the 3rd inning. Billy Hamilton will lead off for the Reds. Wade Miley back to work. Miley retired the first 5. Then he allowed 2 singles. And then retired those 2 on. Stranded those 2 on with a ground out back to the mound from the pitcher DeSclafani. Pitch count in good shape. Wade Miley with a strikeout, has not walked a batter. And he drops a curve a little low to Hamilton. It's 2-1. Reds have been putting Hamilton in the 9 spot when he's in the lineup. It's a pretty familiar role for him. Provides you with a second leadoff hitter, essentially. Trying to get a little more activity on the bases for the top of the order.
Just has not been able to get on base enough to be at the top of the order. On base percentage for Billy Hamilton, .301. Boy, with his speed, boy, you figure he'd figure out a way to be a little bit more patient at the plate, make contact, get on base. Create a lot of problems for you when he does.
He is 3rd in the National League in steals with 31. And Miley misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. He is a game changer when he gets on, though. It changes the complexion of the inning for sure, because there's a pretty good bet he's going to be running in the first 2 or 3 pitches. Reds do have a power hitter in their leadoff spot tonight in Scott Schebler. Three and 2 to Hamilton.
Yeah, this is certainly a guy in this situation. You just you know, put it on the tee for him. Don't walk him. Hard to walk him anyway.
On the ground, Arcia got to hurry it to first, and he has a strong arm to make that play look easy. Hamilton retired, and Miley gets that first out, and it's another ground ball out for Wade Miley.
Out of confidence, threw him a curveball on a 3-2 pitch. And Billy Hamilton, when he hits a ground ball, he better not waste any time. Get it off and over to first base quickly, which Arcia does.
5 ground ball outs for Miley already. First time through the batting order. 9 pitch at bat to retire Hamilton. And to the top of the order now, and Schebler. First time through, Miley with 5 ground ball outs, 1 fly ball out, 1 strikeout. There's a strike. 2-1 now. Schebler grounded to short his first time up. Arcia has been busy over there tonight. He's already fielded 3 ground balls in this one. There's a line shot, base hit. Schebler singles this time around. He had a similar trajectory last time up. Brewers had the shift on again, and he hit it right into that shift for the out. This time he finds a hole.
Yeah, high fastball, and he was able to does a good job getting on top of it. Check it out. Out away from him. I'm not sure what that pitch was. 84 miles an hour, change up maybe. Well, you don't see Miley go change up to lefties, but that's kind of what it looked like.
It's a 1-out base runner. Here is Jose Peraza. Miley works fast. It has that quick tempo. Slows down somewhat from the stretch. Knocks it down. Recovers. Out at second. Throw to first. Not in time. Well, if Miley can hang on, and that's a tough play But if he hangs on to the line drive, he does have a double play to end the inning.
Or if he lets it go, it's a double play. RC was right there, right behind him. But anything coming at you like that, you're going to try and make a play on. And good job by Miley. You're right. If he catches it, it's an easy double play. He doesn't get the lead runner.
Well, Shaw has a great arm, but Peraza can fly, and he keeps the inning alive for Joey Votto. Votto got jammed a little his first time up. A fly ball out to center field. Unlikely the Reds would be running here with Votto at the plate. He's only hit 12 home runs this year, but he is a major power threat still, especially here at Miller Park down that right field line.
Although Peraza does have the 23 stolen bases.
What would you do as a manager? Would you run him here, or would you?
Not on a 2-0 count. I'll let Joey Votto, be selective. Maybe it gets 2-1. You let him run.
The other thing it affords by staying put at first, there's a huge hole, even with a shift on. And Votto draws a walk.
Hit him.
Oh, I beg your pardon. He hit him. Just grazed him. And it's first and second. I didn't think I missed the count, but counsel saying, wait a minute, I don't think he hit him. Hang on a second.
If it hit him, it just grazed his jersey, if anything. Curveball, check it out. What's it? What is it? Does it get the sleeve of the arm? Doesn't look like it moves to me, does it? So I'm looking at it in the Brewer point of view.
Tough to tell. Certainly doesn't look like one that would be overturned. And so counsel will not challenge. And that's going to bring up Eugenio Suarez now. So back-to-back innings, the Reds put 2 on. And the top RBI man the Reds have, Eugenio Suarez, who is 3rd in the league. He's driven in 101 runs. He would be having an MVP season if the Reds were in the race. But there's so many players who have numbers that are equivalent that are in the race. You don't figure Suarez is in the discussion at this point. It's going to be a wide open race, though. That MVP race in the National League might be one of the best and closest and most players into that we've had in baseball history.
A lot of worthy candidates. You're right.
You think about maybe 7 players that could stake claim to an MVP award. Certainly Christian Yelich at the top of the list.
I think the Brewers get into the postseason. I think it improves his chances.
Matt Carpenter, Christian Yelich, Javi Baez, Paul Goldschmidt, a couple of Rockies, Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado. Curveball misses. 3 balls and a strike to Suarez. This is a dangerous pitch for Miley right here. And you've got the equally dangerous Scooter Gennett on deck. Reds had a 2-out rally in the second. Miley stranded them both. He got in on his hands, didn't he? 3-2 the count.
They have to cut her again. Well, Renner's going to take off on this pitch, that's for sure. 3-2, 2 outs. What does Miley give him? He's had a lot of confidence in the curveball lately.
Peraza, the runner at second, beat out a double play ball. And Suarez, he goes. A strikeout for Miley. Mark that one down. Big moment early for Wade Miley as he gets the Reds' top RBI man to win the inning.
here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and tonight is a special night at Miller Park. The Brewers are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, so you see all players on the field were wearing the t-shirt with the hashtag Ponle Acento, which means put an accent on it, celebrating the Latin players, their backgrounds, the countries that they represent. This is a Major League Baseball initiative going back to 2015, so you see they're wearing their white Cerveceros jerseys, and there's a great pregame ceremony as well with the flags of the Latin countries represented in the Brewers organization. And certainly there are a handful of Brewers players, countries represented: Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Cuba as well. So some great pregame moments here.
Yeah, no question, Sophia. Love this month. And where would Major League Baseball be without the contributions of the great Hispanic players and Latin players that have come through all these years? Wade Miley leads off for the Brewers, and a little half swing. He's down on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for DeSclafani. Tell you, Rock, Wade Miley got out of a mess last inning. That was tipping the scales in a hitter's count to Eugenio Suarez with 2 men on base.
Yeah, 3-1. He got it 3-2, and then had Suarez swinging a pitch out of the zone. And that's what he's been doing for the Brewers. He's been minimizing damage. He did not allow any runs that inning, but you know, pitch here or there. He has a way of getting himself out of jams, doesn't he?
There's the wrinkle on his pitches, the little cutter, the changeup. One moves into a right-handed hitter, the other away from a right-handed hitter, and it's the name of the game, right? To keep the ball off the barrel of the bat,
yeah.
And he has the ability to do that. He's found it this year.
A little bit out in front, a little bit behind it, underneath.
Curtis Granderson, a little bit late, fouls it away.
Guys that don't rely on strikeouts, that's what they have to do. Stay off the barrel of the bat.
DeSclafani working quickly, and that's up and in. DeSclafani does have games like this. He can mow through a lineup. What's been concerning for the Reds is that he seems to hit a wall at some point in the game, whether it be command or like this, where he walks Curtis Granderson, and then next thing you know, he's given up a home run, and it's usually a multi-run home run. And now the Brewers in business here with Granderson aboard.
And mistakes he makes typically aren't based on balls. He's only had 26 in his first 99 innings of work. Not too bad.
One out walk. Here comes Yelich. Big swing by Yelich.
It's getting too much of the play. It's been DeSclafani's issue this year. Wild in the strike zone.
Yelich against DeSclafani this season has homered. He's now 4 for 10 against him this year with a home run. He's walked. On the ground, that is over the glove of Votto into right field. Granderson turns, heads to third. On his way to second, Yelich with a double. Right over the bag. And Yelich is in with a 2-bagger.
Yep, Votto got a glove on it. Yeah, hot shot down the line. Votto dives. He gets a glove on it, slows it down. There's that slider down and in. Good job by Yelich to make an adjustment. Votto gets a piece of it. And Granderson gets in the third. A double for Yelich. So the Brewers in business in the third.
Well, Votto would not have been able to turn 2 there, but certainly would have had the second out of the inning. Instead, it's second and third, 1 away. And here is Lorenzo Cain now. Brewers threatening to score.
That was a good job by Yelich on that slider down and in. Not a bad pitch by DeSclafani, but he made a nice adjustment and keeps it fair down the line.
Cain in the 3 spot in the lineup. Run producers roll, and he lifts one in the air to right field. This is shallow. Schebler's got a great arm. Granderson's going to try. Here comes a throw, and Granderson is in.
A terrible throw.
That one really died on him. I don't know if he didn't have a good grip or what, but Granderson challenged him. Throw came up a little light, and the Brewers strike first on a sac fly from Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, Shetler throws the ball a lot better than that. I mean, that was not a good throw, not his best effort. Yeah, it looks like he did everything right, but you know, the ball hits the grass right here and kind of dies. 3-hopper into the plate, and Granderson able to score the first run.
Smooth slide, keeping that foot down across home plate.
That's one of the shallowest sacrifice flies you're going to see.
Well, the Brewers strike first. Here is Travis Shaw now with Yelich at second base. Shaw singled his last time up. He pulled one through the hole between first and second. Sitting on 29 home runs. Last year Shaw hit 31. Had a 3,100 season with those 31 homers and drove in over 100 runs. He's not going to get there with the RBIs this year, but one more long ball and he'll hit 30 in back-to-back years for the Brewers. His next RBI will be number 80. That gets by the catcher Casali. Over to third goes Christian Yelich on a wild pitch. Extremely wild pitch.
Yeah, that should count as 2 wild pitches right there. That ball barely make the dirt. Check this out. Good luck blocking this one. All the way to the backstop, and now an infield hit scores a run.
1-2 to count. Travis dealt with a wrist injury after the All-Star break. Gave him some trouble. Tried to play through it. Wasn't the same hitter during that time. Look out. Almost hit him. 3-2 the count on Shaw. Brewers have the lead. Sac fly by Cain. Shaw fights it off foul, staying alive at the plate.
Notice just about everything up in the strike zone to Travis in this at bat. DeSclafani got one down in the zone and he rips it in the right.
Here's a 3-2 and Shaw pulls that one foul. Now that slider ended up in the sweet spot for Travis Shaw, but he missed it. A lot of pitches this inning for DeSclafani, pitching in his third inning. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat against Travis Shaw. And he misses inside, ball 4. Shaw draws a hard earned walk. First and third with 2 away. And here comes Aguilar. Jesus had a chance with 2 on in the first inning. Bounced out to end the inning. Danny Darwin on his way to the mound. Reds pitching coach.
Danny Darwin used to have a pretty good slider. I caught Danny when he was a Brewer. Sinker slider pitcher.
That's why that right elbow of his looks a little gnarly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sliders coming out of that arm.
Kind of has 2 bends in that elbow. Danny was a gamer back in his day.
Some words of encouragement for his young pitcher DeSclafani. Big spot for Aguilar. He's trying to climb over that triple-digit mark. Kind of get the feeling the dam's going to break when he does get over 100 RBIs. That is a goal that he is trying to attain here, and he pops up the first pitch. Is that going to stay playable? The catcher Casali is there, and he can't make the play. That was coming right down the net. That's a tough play for a catcher.
And Votto was right there. He missed it too. Well, bounced out of Casale's mitt. Votto was standing right next to him. He wasn't able to grab it.
Trying to pull a Pete Rose over there on the ricochet.
I took this out. Here comes Votto. He missed it.
That's a break for Aguilar. No balls and a strike. Aguilar rolls to short. Peraza to second. And the third inning ends just like the first. But the Brewers score. Curtis Granderson, a one-out walk, comes around on a Kane RBI sac fly.
It was Fan Appreciation Weekend at Miller Park, Friday, September 28th through Sunday the 30th. First 20,000 fans in attendance for each game against the Tigers. We'll get a scratch-off card featuring the chance to win tickets, memorabilia, and some other awesome prizes. For tickets, go to Brewers.com.
Coincidentally, it is also Bill Schroeder Appreciation Weekend that weekend, just from us and the crew. So.
Yeah, Detroit Tigers.
Fan appreciation and Bill Schroeder appreciation. Scooter Gennett starts the inning with a base hit. Interleague baseball to finish the season. Playing National League rules in the National League home, right?
Yeah.
So the Brewers will have the Tigers while the Cubs and the Cardinals battle it out.
It's going to be an important series, I would imagine, the way things have gone this year. Every game seems to go down to the wire. No reason to think that this postseason race is not going to go down to the wire.
So many teams involved. Who can get hot late? Irvin pushes a bunt. Aguilar going to second, gets the out at second base.
Yeah, well done. He didn't have a play at first. I think when Irvin bunted that baseball toward Aguilar and he saw him vacate the bag, he said that's a base hit. But Jesus is so athletic over there at first. He's got such confidence in his throwing arm. He makes this play easy. I mean, Gennett's not even close to second base. No play at first, but he gets the out at second.
You watch him play. You watch how nimble he is around first base. He doesn't have great range, but he makes a lot of plays. He's got good hands. You forget he's 300 pounds. He's 6'4", 300 pounds, this guy.
Yeah.
And he moves like a shortstop with shortstop tendencies, let's say. He doesn't have the range of an Arcia, but he's got a very strong throwing arm. He's played third base on occasion this year. Big man with quick feet.
Yeah.
Jesus Aguilar.
He plays light on his feet, doesn't he?
I hear he's a fine dancer as well. Kurt Casale at the plate.
I think we've seen that in the clubhouse.
Well, whether it is Hispanic Heritage Month or not, it is always Hispanic Appreciation Day in the Brewers clubhouse because they have that good beat going all the time down there, and those guys are dancing. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and fouled back. think that would be the merengue beat, but I'm not sure. I need to brush up.
I can't comment.
That's out of your
I'm not qualified.
out of your territory.
Yeah, salsa maybe.
You're on the Wade Miley playlist.
Yeah,
Classic country.
Dirks Bentley.
2-2. Fouled it out of play.
Mixing a little Frank Sinatra maybe every now and again. More ballroom dancing than the salsa.
It's an eccentric playlist for Bill Schroeder. A little ABBA, a little Sinatra, a little Dirks Bentley. They can't define you, Rock. They can't put you in a box.
I like it all. Right?
We had a nice time on our drive home from Chicago, didn't we?
We did.
We had a little Club Schroeder going in there. We had a little
Brothers Osborne in there.
Yeah, little Brothers Osborne.
I liked it. You know, I did pony up and I bought some of that. You get a cut on that?
My new favorite, Brothers Osborne. I'm all in. That is going to sneak past Arcia, and Casale has his second hit of the game. They have looked similar, not barreled up, but they have found holes, and he is 2 for 2, and the Reds for the third consecutive inning with 2 men on base.
Yeah, Cutter this time gets on the label. His first hit was a changeup. He got on the end of the bat. Out of the reach of Arcia and into left center.
So Wade Miley digging deep once again. He's had some high stress pitches here in the last 3 innings. Does have the pitcher coming up, DeSclafani, but a pitcher who can handle the bat. Miley would love to get a ground ball out of him here. DeSclafani is faster than most pitchers. He's up there to bunt, and a bunt toward third, foul. It's always interesting with runners at first and second, the defensive play for the Brewers in a situation like this, and there's a couple of different options for a defense in a moment like this.
They go with the wheel play. I think a little bit too early in the game for a wheel play where the only play is going to be at third base or first. You know, more the conventional play where Moustakas reads the bunt off the bag, either goes in for it, makes a play at first base, or it goes back to third.
One benefit the Brewers have, Miley is an excellent fielding pitcher, and he's left-handed. So a bunt down the third base line, if it's not too firm and Miley can make a play on it, then you could have the potential of an out at third base on a force. And that's why Arcia is holding the runner at second base, Phillip Ervin, as close as he is. That's where it all starts.
Well, got to keep him close. Don't give him a good jump.
Two balls and a strike. Squares early, and he bunts it. It's going to be Aguilar for the second out. That'll be a sacrifice for DeSclafani. Put it in a perfect spot. Both runners advance, and that brings up the speedy Billy Hamilton. Hamilton grounded to short his first time up on a 9-pitch at bat. Miley has 8 ground ball outs at this point. Even when Hamilton hits a routine ground ball to an infielder, there is some stress involved. Because he can really fly.
Yeah, have to be a lot quicker than you normally would be on most runners.
Puts that pressure on the D. Hamilton's a switch hitter. He's seen everything Miley has. The 1-1. Straighten him up. Back-to-back balls with the cut fastball. 2-1 now. Got a left-hander due next in Schebler. Packs much more of a punch than Billy Hamilton. On the ground, Arcia fires across in time, and Miley for the 3rd straight inning strands 2 Reds. Couple of hits for the Reds, another 0 on the board. The new network home of Thursday Night Football, and the schedule on Fox is a good one this year. Thursday Night Football coming to Fox. Week 4, Rock. What week are we in now? 2?
Week 2.
Oh, that's right. So you got 2 more weeks.
Week 2's been pretty exciting, huh? Some good games.
I feel bad for kickers. NFL kickers right now are in the penalty box.
Yeah.
Here's Mike Moustakas. First ball, swinging fly ball right to Hamilton. Out number 1. Packers and Vikings playing to a tie this past weekend, yesterday. Where do you stand on the ties at this point?
I don't like it. I mean, why would you end up in a tie? What's the point of that? What is this, 1930? Figure out how to somebody win, right? Don't you agree?
I'm indifferent.
All that in a tie?
We've already had 2 ties in the NFL. I don't know.
There's no tying in baseball. You're right. We play all night.
Some have offered a suggestion that we should have ties in baseball as a means to protect pitching staffs, and I can't see that one getting off the ground. There have been a lot of things thrown out there. I don't see that one having any legs. Now, the 3 balls for a walk and 2 balls for a strike, Rock. I'm starting to warm up on that one a little bit.
Hey, you never know.
I am.
You never know what could be coming down.
Yeah, my first reaction was, I don't like that. It changes everything, history of the game. But boy, think about the as Kratz fouls one away, the pace of the game.
Yeah, how about what the minor leagues were doing in the extra innings, starting with a guy at second?
Ooh. Putting him in scoring position to start. Interesting.
That would pretty much, evaluate records, wasn't it? Man,
There's a lot to talk about.
can't believe we actually talk about that stuff.
I know you've got some ideas. They should put Rock on a competition committee. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Eric Kratz. And a swing and a miss, a strikeout. Casale secures it at first. 2nd out of the inning. That is the 5th strikeout for DeSclafani. Nasty slider, huh?
Yeah, he's had a good one tonight, hasn't he? He hasn't made too many mistakes with it. And that one off the outside corner. Good block by Casale to get the out.
What would you say would be the most radical change in baseball that we've had already? The designated hitter? I mean, think about you were
Yeah,
certainly
right. Was that 1970s?
70,
72?
70, yeah, 73,
Something like that, yeah.
But that was a pretty big decision that was talked about. The detractor said it was going to ruin the game. Didn't connect you to the history of the game because you have this extra hitter.
Yeah, 73 actually.
What about changing the schedule from 154 games to 162 when they added?
That was a big deal, but I think the designated hitter was certainly the biggest, the most radical change of any rule, I think, in any sport. I mean, think about it. What other sport has so radically changed, the way you get to a lineup or anything like that? I mean, having one guy designated to hit, don't have the pitcher hit. That's the most radical change in any sport, I think. And I think baseball needs to, consolidate. Both leagues have to play the same rules at some point, and it will never ever. I don't think the union would ever allow to do away with the designated hitter. So I know that there are a lot of pitchers that have gotten hurt on the bases that would agree that the DH in the National League would be beneficial.
1-2 the count to Arcia. Rolls over 1 to third. Going to be a tough play. Eugenio Suarez fires to first, and it's in and out of the glove of Votto. Not sure he had his foot on the bag either. Pretty nonchalant by Suarez, trying to be smooth on it, but the throw was a wayward throw, and that'll be an E5. And Arcia is aboard with 2 outs.
Look, kind of nonchalant by Suarez. Watch the way he spins around, almost flat-footed. And it flips it over there, and Votto does a good job not only keeping the ball in the infield, but trying to catch it and keep his foot on the bag. I think Suarez had a little bit more time to maybe set himself a little bit better and make a decent throw. That one not even close.
It's a good effort by Votto.
Yeah, good effort by Votto to keep it in play.
Well, now here is Miley. Miley is another pitcher who can swing the bat a little bit. He has 5 hits this year. Has a 200 batting average. Miley loves to hit. He loves to swing the bat. Feels like he's connected to the game.
Maybe it's one of the reasons why he's turned things around coming over to the National League again.
That's a good point. Played in the National League early in his career with the Diamondbacks.
And was good.
There goes Arcia. Throw down to second base. Arcia is out. Came off the bag. That's a no-no there with the pitcher at the plate. Arcia is thrown out, and Miley will lead off the next inning. Brewers want to take a look at his replay. I think he had a chance to be called safe here, but he just couldn't keep the hand on the bag.
And pretty close. He has both hands on the bag at one point. This one here. Then this one then doesn't come off right here before the foot is on the bag. Yep, it is.
No challenge. Caught stealing to end the inning. That's a mistake from Arcia. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. By Toyota. Let's go places. And by Sling TV. Live TV you love, only better. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard, our Emmy Award-winning reporter. Tonight's game being produced by Brent Reeland, directed by Phil Malika. Great to have you with us on Fox Sports Wisconsin tonight. Brewers and the Reds. And we go to the 5th inning, 1-0 Milwaukee. Top of the Reds order now against Miley. Schebler into the shift. Travis Shaw will make the play for out number 1. Well, Orlando Arcia thrown out trying to steal second with Miley at the plate. So Miley will be scheduled to lead off next inning. And he's pitching well. Craig Counsell has not been shy about pulling a starter after 4 or 5 innings with so many relievers. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Certainly with a 1-0 lead makes the decision a little bit easier for Counsell.
And 1-0 lead, and you have Josh Hader available. He's had a number of days off. That's always a wild card in the Brewers bullpen. Is Hader available or not? Tonight he is.
Without expanded rosters, you probably wouldn't even consider it. Pinch hitting for a pitcher who has a shutout through 5 innings. But it's a little different this time of year.
You got 14 guys in a pen.
My guess is Counsell did not want to be forced with that kind of decision right here, though.
Hey, that was a bad base running move by Arcia. You don't run with the pitcher up and 2 outs. That's a no-no.
Even though Wade Miley is in scoring position at the plate with his kind of power, that's the other part of that.
Just natural pop.
Just,
yep.
I mean, just waiting to unload on one. I get that too. Tough part of the lineup here for Miley. And Peraza at the plate. Votto due next. And there's another rollover. This is Arcia. Throws on the run in time. Heck of a play.
And he does that as well as anybody. That off balance sidearm throw over to first base. He gets something on it, and more times than not, it's right on the money.
I think Arcia is looking at Aguilar like, why'd you make that so dramatic? That throw was right there. And it was. Good play. Down he goes.
Hey, so just a little bit off balance. That's okay. Got the out. He makes that play as well as anybody right there. And a good throw over to first on the run.
And the earth shook.
Quit picking on the big guys.
No, I'm not. I'm just jealous. 2 outs. Here is Votto now. Votto rarely leaves the box. He stands right in there, almost dares you to come to him. And a ground ball right to Aguilar. He'll take it. And a very nice inning for Wade Miley. 3 up, 3 down, 3 ground ball outs. To the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Brew Crew. Miley to lead off. device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. That is going to be the end of the line for Wade Miley. 5 innings of shutout ball. Domingo Santana will pinch hit. Had a pinch hit home run yesterday. His last 6 games as a pinch hitter, he has 4 hits in those appearances. 4 for his last 6. It's been impressive.
And since the Mike Moustakas trade and then when the rosters started to expand, I mean, the Brewer pinch hitters have been pretty good. They've been getting on base. They've hit 5 home runs in that stretch.
Look at this. Santana sends one deep to left center. And this one is gone. Shomingo has done it again. Back-to-back games with pinch hit home runs. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, it's got to feel good for him. Kind of a lost season, but boy, is he finishing strong. Wow. This is the Domingo Santana we saw last year.
He is on the kind of run. If the Brewers make it to the postseason, you will have to give him strong consideration as a bat off the bench. This is rare to have this kind of success as a pinch hitter. 7 games, 7 pinch hit appearances, 5 hits, 2 homers.
Yeah. And Brewers pinch hitters now since the end of August. 6 home runs.
Brewers just set a franchise record for pinch hit home runs in a season as a team. That was their 10th pinch hit home run this year. And now Granderson lines one to right. That's down, a base hit. Granderson keeps it going. It's a clean single to right field. On base for the 2nd time, the Brewer leadoff man.
It's invaluable to have that kind of experience in a pennant race. Curtis Granderson, he's just done just about everything in baseball, and nothing seems to get to him. A lot of these veteran guys, they've been there, done that. They slow the game down, and they're productive.
Now Christian Yelich, nobody out, runner at first. Yelich launches right field, got a chance. This one is a home run. It's gone just inside the foul pole. Number 31 for Yelich. 2-run blast makes it 4-0 Milwaukee. With chance of MVP raining down on Christian Yelich. Through the gauntlet he goes with his 31st home run of the year. Now RBIs 90 and 91.
Well, what can you say that hasn't been said about Christian Yelich? Just a money player. Knocks one out of here on a changeup. Able to keep it fair. He's out in front just a bit, but and once away, he keeps those hands down and through, and able to keep it fair, just fair down the line. Right on to Nelly's corner.
What a year. New career high every homer he hits. Top 3 in the National League in batting average, OPS, runs, slugging percentage. And the guy sitting next to him, Ryan Braun, the last Brewers MVP, that was 2011. He might be looking at the next Brewers MVP. And a quick meeting at the mound, Danny Darwin. Here's Lorenzo Cain now. Boy, that escalated quickly for the Brewers, huh?
Yeah, not too many pitches, right? From the beginning of the inning to a 3 spot. Domingo Santana getting it started.
Now Cain in a 1-1 count, 1-2 now.
Just such a pretty swing that Christian Yelich has. You know, everybody knows, the league knows, don't pitch him away because he's going to drive the ball into center and the left center. So what do? You know, they start pulling a string on him. They start pitching him inside, and he rips him down the right field line.
Kane right to Votto. That's the first out of the inning.
Just making adjustments on the fly each and every day. It's been a while since he's gone hitless in back-to-back games.
You know what's special about that home run he just hit? And he has a ton of home runs. About half of his home runs have come to center field this year, so from left center to right center. But what was so impressive about that swing is that he's able to slow it down, still get the barrel on it, and then not hook it foul. He's able to keep it fair down that line.
He led with the hands. That's how you do that. Lead with the hands. You don't lead with the barrel of the batter. You just hit a hard foul ball. That's what I'm talking about, making adjustments within a swing. That's what he did that time. Sitting fastball, gets the change. He's out in front a little bit, makes the adjustment as he's swinging the bat. To keep that ball fair down the line.
It's almost like he's downshifting, right?
Right.
Downshifting that swing from 5th gear down to 3rd gear, and then just rips the bat through.
But the idea is if you keep the hands back long enough, you still have a chance.
Here's Travis Shaw with a base hit. His 2nd hit of the game, on base for the 3rd time. And the Brewers getting their hits now in this 5th inning. That's the 4th of the inning. And a 3 spot on the board currently. Travis Shaw with 2 hits and a walk. Here comes Aguilar.
You just never know who or what is it that's going to jumpstart the offense. Tonight, Domingo Santana.
Jesus Aguilar has some company in that home run race for the ball club, which he embraces. Christian Yelich just 1 home run behind Aguilar now.
Isn't it funny? You just never know how things are going to work out. They might not work out the same way, but had Arcia not stolen, or he was successful and Miley makes the last out, this inning might not have happened. So sometimes when you make a bad mistake and it doesn't work out, I mean, things can turn on a dime.
Well, Council's decision to use Santana in that spot in a 1-0 game, pulling a pitcher who has a shutout going. 5 innings for Miley, and he just went right through the top of the Reds order, including Votto. But the Brewers searching for offense here in the last few days. Council took a shot. He gets an immediate lift from Santana, and then Granderson and Yelich follow it up. Yelich with the 2-run homer.
It just feels so good for Domingo Santana. He gets sent down and nobody really thinking too much about him. He never really got an opportunity. And once he got sent to the minor leagues, he scuffled down there a little bit, but he comes up here and he's the same hitter right now that he was last year. The way he's been swinging the bat, good for him.
Had 30 homers last year. Matter of fact, the Brewers are a Travis Shaw home run away from having 3 players hit 30 home runs in a season. That did happen last year, and it was the first time it had happened since 1982. Brewers have a chance to do it in back-to-back years. Aguilar rolls to 3rd. Suarez starts a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. But a good inning for the Brew Crew. They get a 3 spot on the board. It was started by the pinch hitter Domingo Santana. 2nd home run off the bench in as many days. That made it 2-0, and then Yelich, a 2-run blast. Number 31. 4-0 Milwaukee. cycle. Hit for the cycle against the Cincinnati Reds last month, part of a 6-hit game, and his 2-run home run has given the Brewers a 4-0 lead as we play in the 6th inning, and it will be Josh Hader. So Hader comes on for appearance number 50, but look at the innings compared to the games. He is a multi-inning reliever, and he is the premier reliever in the game right now.
Yeah, look at the strikeouts, 130 and 74 in 2/3 innings. Last appeared in the game on Wednesday against the Cubs, a 3-up, 3-down inning, including 3 strikeouts. Hader pitched 3 innings against the Cubs, struck out 9 batters. That's how good he was in that series.
Hader facing Eugenio Suarez. Wade Miley goes 5 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. He pitched well. A victim of September baseball. But with the added personnel, when you can expand rosters in September, it is a much easier decision to go to the bullpen earlier. Counsell wasting no time. We'll try to get the last 12 outs from his bullpen.
And a much easier decision when you have Josh Hader out in the pen and available.
Yep, he is the difference maker. The Brewers setting up to be a formidable opponent in the postseason if they can just get there, and they're in good shape right now to at least make the wild card game. They just keep playing good baseball, but my goodness, this bullpen they put together, and then you can probably drop another starter into that bullpen as well. Big fastball right by Suarez. Out number 1 on a K.
Well, it just keeps going for Josh Hader. Another strikeout. That's 10 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings. His last 3 1/3 innings. 3-2 fastball and plenty of the plate, swings right through it.
He did give up a hit in the middle of that, so his last 10 outs have all been via the K. He's had a nice long rest as he prepares for this week ahead. Hader leads all major league relievers with 131 strikeouts, averaging over 15.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is also the top mark. He's already set a single season franchise record for strikeouts by a reliever in Brewers history. That was set last year by Corey Knebel. Knebel had 126 last year. Hader 131 now. And he's got Scooter Gennett in a 1-2 count.
And just slings that fastball in there on the inside corner. Be careful of the slider. Got to get it down. And Gennett's been good against lefties.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Gennett. Got him. Another strikeout for Hader. 97. Had Gennett guessing. And he chased one out of the zone. His last 11 outs are strikeouts.
Hey, good pitch. A little off the outside corner. Got Gennett to chase it. Doing a good job just working the edges when he gets ahead in the count. It's not just the velocity and hiding the baseball. It's pinpoint control.
Here's Phillip Ervin. Pouring in the strikes is Hader. Ervin had a single in the second, reached on a fielder's choice on a bunt in the 4th. Even his pitches out of the strike zone look like they're in the strike zone.
Yeah, that was a good pitch.
One ball, 1 strike. 2 outs in the Reds' 6th. 1-2 now. see it all the time as well. Hitter stands in there against a pitcher like Josh Hader, and you kind of match his intensity and you match your big swing with his big fastball. Ben Zobrist was the guy who had it figured out. He's the guy who had the hit off Hader. He just shortened up and
spread out. Just played pepper.
Just played pepper. That's right. Just punched one. Hader's got him set up. Can he strike out the side? 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he fouls it back. Had a better cut that time.
Pretty good swing on a high heater. Seems like velocity better for Hader as the season's going on, doesn't it?
I think you're right.
I mean, it's been more consistent in the upper 90s his last few times out.
Then you add a little postseason adrenaline to that, and you could see him pop at 98 regularly in the playoffs. The 1-2. He got him. Throw him a slider, and Hader strikes out the side. His last 12 outs, strikeouts. Fielders are optional. The Haderade on fire again tonight.
Of October baseball, and Major League Baseball has officially released its 2018 postseason schedule, with the playoff action beginning on Tuesday, October 2nd. To view the complete postseason schedule, go to MLB.com/postseason and do it now.
We're building towards postseason baseball here in Milwaukee. Brewers are 3 games ahead in the loss column of a second wild card spot. Wandy Peralta will pitch for Cincinnati. Into the night for Anthony DeSclafani. 5 innings, 4 earned runs.
1 bad inning. Pitched pretty well.
Giving up 2 home runs in the 5th. 1 to Santana, the other to Yelich. Moustakas has a hit, rather has a line drive out tonight. 0 for 2. Strikeout and a liner. Brewers lead 4-0. They've out hit the Reds 7-5. Wade Miley went 5 shutout, and then Josh Hader might as well be on the mound with everybody else in the dugout. I guess all you'd need would be a catcher.
It's amazing stuff. It really is. Just continues to impress out there in the mound.
That one's in the gap, right center. Moustakas with a base hit on his way to second. Throw comes in, and a belly flop for Moustakas. It's a hustle double.
Yeah, stayed right in there against the lefty. Able to hit it hard enough out there in the gap. A hustle double Thinking a double right out of the gates. Yeah, pitch in on him and gets enough of it. It was a changeup that time, and Moustakas gets the 6th inning off and running in a good fashion. And a beauty of a head first slide. Got some air under him there. See that? That's the old Pete Rose belly dive.
I saw a guy dressed up like Superman in the ballpark earlier tonight. That's another pretty weak throw from right field, though, by Schebler.
Yeah, I mean, his arm, you would think.
Kratz, a line drive right to Votto for the out.
He's got the reputation as a pretty good throwing outfielder, but not tonight.
Brewers were able to take advantage with a run on a sac fly in the 3rd by Kane, scoring Granderson. And then Moustakas able to get into second base with a double. The 2 throws by Schebler tonight. Here's Arcia. Arcia reached on an error his last time up. Was caught stealing to end the inning with the pitcher Miley at the plate, and then that sent the wheels in motion that would result in a 3-run 5th for the Brewers. Started with a pinch hitter for Miley, Domingo Santana, who homered, and then a single by Granderson, then a 2-run homer by Yelich. Arcia with a shot in the left center. Moustakas will turn and head home. He is on his way. He will score. Arcia is safe as the ball pops out of the glove of Jeanette. It's a double and an RBI for Arcia.
I don't know. I think he's out if Jeanette holds on to the baseball, but another pretty good swing by Arcia, who's trying to come up with much better at-bats. Fastball down in the strike zone. He rips it out there in the center. Actually, slider. Yeah, slider that was down the middle of the plate. You hear good contact. Moustakas first for a second. It didn't matter. He's able to score. 5-0 Brewers.
And here was the play. The spike went right into the glove of Jeanette, knocked the ball out. Arcia ends up with a double. That's his 3rd double on the homestand in 4 games. And it results in a pitching change. Peralta is out. Pinch hitter announced Jonathan Scope. And the Reds are going to their pen with 1 away in the 6th inning. Five to nothing. Arcia with his first hit of the night, drives in his 27th run of the year. Had a double yesterday. Had a double on Friday night against the Pirates. Yeah, Scooter Jeanette says, man, what do you got on the bottom of those shoes? The ejecto spikes knocked the ball right out of Jeanette's glove.
Having a good time out there at second base, huh? Jesus Reyes on for the 3rd time this year. 3rd time he's been with the Reds. He got called up early in the year, did not pitch. And made his major league debut a little bit later than that after getting called back up. 3rd time back with the Reds. 3 innings and has not given up a run.
Wandy Peralta goes a 1/3 of an inning, 2 hits and a run. Jonathan Schoop is the pinch hitter. Arcia is on his way to 3rd and goes in standing. The ball comes out of Suarez's glove. Those are like magician's feet that Arcia has going right now. I don't know how he's doing it. He's got some kind of hex on the Reds fielders, but it's happened twice.
He just keeps running, huh? Until they throw him out. For some reason, he just can't hold on to the ball. It pops out again. Got lucky. I think the umpire is getting ready to ring him up.
Not sure why Arcia didn't slide.
I thought that the 3rd base umpire was getting ready to ring him up until Suarez lost the baseball. That could very well be an error.
I don't know what to say about Arcia right now.
Yeah, just running.
He's been phenomenal at shortstop. He's got an RBI double.
He's out there. That's got to be an error.
He probably should have been put out 3 times on the bases, but only once have the Reds held on to the baseball. That was in a caught stealing with the pitcher at the plate. Chopper foul.
Well, like I said, it's worked out. Even when he got caught stealing with Miley at the plate, next inning turned into 3 runs. So he's got a rabbit's foot somewhere in his pocket.
Let's see if Schoop can pick one up. There's a ground ball, and it's right between the legs of Suarez. Arcia will score. 6-0 Brewers.
You got to figure that's an error, right? Right through the wickets. Schoop hit it hard. Suarez came up. Ball stayed down and into left field. This one right at him. Didn't have to move. Yep, E5.
He could give him an RBI there. I don't think it's out of the question to assume he would just go to 1st on that play. See how they score it. He'll reach on an E5, Schoop. We'll see if he is awarded an RBI, and he is. So Schoop gets the ribby out of it. 6-0. And still 1 out for Curtis Granderson. Suarez has committed 2 errors tonight. Has 19 for the year.
And they could have given him an error on that play at 3rd with Arcia. As the umpire was getting ready to call him out.
Granderson takes a ball. Reds had some defensive troubles in Chicago over the weekend as well. They didn't hit. They were close games. Cubs took 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati. But the Reds did beat the Cubs yesterday. Brewers didn't lose any more ground with the loss to the Pirates. Cubs play tonight. They have the Diamondbacks on the road in Arizona, and they'll deal with a tough lefty, Patrick Corbin. Diamondbacks are still fighting to get back into the race in the NL West. Granderson walks on base for the 3rd time. 2 walks and a hit for Granderson. He scored twice already, and this inning continues. Here comes Christian Yelich, who is a triple away from the cycle. And another visit to the mound by Danny Darwin, who's wearing out a path to the mound right now.
Remember back in Cincinnati, hit the cycle and had 6 hits. Brewers have had some gaudy numbers against the Reds this year as far as batting averages go. Yelich coming into play today, a .455 hitter against Cincinnati.
Well, Robin Yount helped with the design of this ballpark, and one of the areas that he had influence over specifically were the 2 angled areas in the outfield and center field. And he did that to try to create opportunities at triples. There's a triple down the right field line, perhaps, and there's a triple into those gaps. Yeah, right there on those major signs. Meyer signs. Last big leaguer to have 2 cycles in a season was Aaron Hill, and he did it. He did one of those, had one of those against the Brewers, and then he became a Brewer. Yelich takes a strike. Yelich with 3 hits. Started with a single in the first, double in the third, home run last time up in the 5th. And a swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Still 1 away. Brewers have scored twice in this 6th inning. Yelich into the gap, right center. Keep on running, Christian. In to score is Scope. Yelich is going to turn and burn. Throw to the plate. Scope is safe. It's a triple, and it's a cycle for Yelich. Incredible.
What do you say?
It is 8-0.
The guy is unbelievable. What a year.
Yelich responsible for half of those runs. Wow. MVP is right.
Yeah, no kidding. What more can he do? Every time you see him, he amazes you more. The consistency that he's given you all year, but particularly in the second half.
Keon Broxton will pinch hit for Kane. Well, this big inning by the Brewers, aside from its historical impact with Yelich, certainly changes the plan for Counsell the rest of the way.
Sit down your frontline relievers, at least for the time being.
Broxton a big swing and a miss.
Brewers offense needed this. They scuffled last 2 games against the Pirates.
Well, Brewers to hit for a cycle. Yelich becomes the first to do it twice. I believe he's only the 3rd major leaguer to have 2 cycles in a season. As Broxton strikes out, the 2nd out. 2 cycles in a season and against the same opponent.
Right.
Makes it even more incredible.
Yeah.
4 for 4.
I mean, amongst all the other incredible things that we've seen out of Christian Yelich this year.
Josh Hader striking everybody out, and Christian Yelich getting hits every time up.
Yeah, 2 cycles for Yelich, both against the same team and both within about 2.5 weeks of each other. Hit for the cycle back on August 29th at Cincinnati.
Christian Yelich now hitting .500 against the Reds this year. That was his 24th hit. 10 of those hits have been in part of a cycle, 2 cycles. Babe Herman of the Brooklyn Dodgers, I think they were maybe the Superbas back then, the team that ended up as the Los Angeles Dodgers. He had the first double cycle in a year. And that was against the Reds as well. How about that? Travis Shaw grounds out. Inning is over. History at Miller Park. Christian Yelich, the first in franchise history, just the third in Major League history. 2 cycles in a season. And a triple that drives in 2 to make it 8-0. First time up, single back up the middle. Then he pulled one over the glove of Votto. That was a double. The home run stretched the lead to 4-0, a 2-run blast, and you knew he wasn't going to stop. The triple, his 4th hit and his 2nd cycle. Cycle of the season. Just the 3rd to do it in baseball history. Babe Herman, Brooklyn, 1931. Second one came against the Reds as well. Aaron Hill's cycles, one of those came against the Brewers as a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now Yelich has done it twice, and both against the Cincinnati Reds. Incredible.
Yeah. He ran out of superlatives for this guy, Christian Yelich.
First man up, Kurt Casale against Brandon Woodruff. And a 6-3 put out. Well, Craig Counsell, this is best case scenario for him. Now Woodruff, who is a starting pitcher from AAA and a talented young pitcher, can try to give the Brewers some extended innings here. You use Hader for just 1 inning. He strikes out the side. And it's all working well for Milwaukee right now in an 8-0 ball game.
Yeah, Woodruff's been terrific since he was recalled, a 3-0 record. Last pitch against the Cubs, that was on Tuesday. Pitched in the inning, gave up a run. A couple of strikeouts in that appearance. He's been coming in throwing strikes. I mean, he's starting to mix in the curveball and the changeup.
Broxton stays in to play center field, gives Kane the rest of the night off. Jonathan Scope at second base. Travis Shaw will enjoy the rest of this one from the dugout. Shaw finishes 2 for 2 with a walk. These are big innings here for Brandon Woodruff. He's been excellent out of the bullpen for Milwaukee since coming back up. Had a 4-inning scoreless outing against the Nationals in D.C. That was in a loss, but Woodruff pitched beautifully in that game.
Yeah, he's been back and forth between AAA and the Brewers 6 different times this year.
think I'm going to have to keep this scorecard, partner.
You mean you don't keep them all?
This one's not going in file 19.
Well, if you need any of the other ones this year, I've got them here.
I used to keep all my scorecards from the games, but I had a very traumatic experience with a scorecard that was lost. The Roy Halladay no-hitter scorecard that I was fortunate enough to call in the playoffs in 2010. I had given that scorecard to the Philadelphia Phillies PR department with hopes that Roy Halladay would sign the scorecard. And the next day they came to me and said, we have really bad news. I said, what? Roy wouldn't sign it? He goes, no, he probably would have, but we lost it.
Oh, nice.
Ouch.
Now, do you really think they lost it?
Yelich puts this one away. I think they did.
That's in somebody else's den.
I think they would have. I think they lost it.
They didn't lose it. Don't be so nice.
All right, let's look at this Yelich triple here, courtesy of StatCast AI, powered by AWS. Into the gap in right center field. Only thing you knew at this point was the fact that Yelich was going to third base.
And the throw came into home plate, but he never slowed down around second, and that's why the official score credited Yelich with the triple. They wouldn't have thrown him out at third.
And if Curtis Granderson had any thoughts about holding up around third base, that was all changed. The official score there, Drew Olson. Because Yelich wasn't stopping.
If he gave him a double, he'd have been greeted in the press box with pitchforks and torches.
Yeah, that's right. Aside from being the third player in baseball history to have 2 cycles in a season, Christian Yelich is the third active player with multiple career cycles. Adrian Beltre has 3 in his career, believe it or not. And the other is a former Brewer, Carlos Gomez. He has 2. He can't help but smile. Look at that face.
I mean, he's pretty stoic all the time, but I mean, every now and again, a player impresses even himself.
Sometimes you just got to say, what have I done?
Enjoy it, right?
Broken bat grounder. Moustakas hustles it over to first. And a 3-up, 3 down inning for Brandon Woodruff. There's the headliner right there. Is he an MVP? I think so.
7th. Tonight's time of the game winner, it's switched in Wisconsin Rapids. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a 2019 Friday night home game in the Miller Lite beer pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well, you get a ticket to come to the ballpark tonight. You have witnessed history. Christian Yelich hitting for a cycle, his second cycle of the season. Just the third player to do it. Joining Babe Herman and Aaron Hill. Wade Miley started this game. 5 innings of scoreless ball, and he's found the right person to talk to.
I was watching Brewers batting practice today, and off to the side while the other guys were hitting, it was Christian Yelich and Travis Shaw. They were talking about their approach. I mean, Christian was up there in his stance and talking about the way he coils, he gets himself in a hitting position. Travis Shaw was doing the same, and that's just a little bit of what these guys do when, you know, the fans aren't at the ballpark. I mean, they're always thinking about, you know, what they're thinking at the plate and the mechanics. It's so important to be working on that every single day. It just doesn't happen by accident. They just don't roll out of bed, show up at 6:30 and get hits. Spend a lot of time working at the craft.
Jesus Aguilar. Fly ball into right field. Out number 1.
You have to put the work in each and every day, because as quickly as you can find it, that's how fast you can lose it.
Jackson Stevens, as the Reds make a number of changes defensively as well. New center fielder, second base, and a new catcher. There are the changes. Williams, Trahan, Fedorovich, all in the game. Mike Moustakas. Well, the Powerball home run leaderboard looks like this. Aguilar with 32, hit one yesterday. Yelich hit his 31st tonight. Brewers have a chance to have maybe 4 in the 30 home run club as Moustakas flies to left. Out number 2. Here's Eric Kratz now. And Kratz, a little flare is going to fall. Base hit to right for Kratz. He's sent a couple over there tonight. First 2 he hit that way, ended up as outs. This one finds some grass, and Eric Kratz with 2 hits yesterday has another one tonight.
Always good to get into that hit parade, even though you're catching a heck of a game behind home plate. Nice game calling. Been a nice acquisition for David Stearns. Done a great job behind home plate.
Here's Arcia now. Drove in a run with a double in the 6th. This was a 1-0 game after 4.5 innings. Brewers got 3 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th. Capped off by a 2-run triple by Yelich, which completed the cycle.
Although it wasn't a spot out there in right center that you would think about a guy getting a triple, but you know the way Yelich runs the bases, he can get a triple anywhere.
And he showed it tonight. Arcia strikes out to end the inning. We go to the 8th. All Brewers tonight, 8-0.
have taken an 8-0 lead, and we all recognize the heroes on the field, but this season the Brewers and Meyer want to honor the heroes that make a difference off the field in our community. Each month, one outstanding local individual will be recognized on the field and throw out the ceremonial first pitch. So if you'd like to nominate someone you know, you can visit brewers.com/community.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And here we go to the 8th inning now, 8-0. Brewers leading. Scott Schebler will start it. Brandon Woodruff. Well, Brandon Woodruff might have a chance at a 3-inning save tonight. He certainly has the staying power to pitch deep into a ball game, give you multiple innings. He's already pitched 4 innings out of the bullpen recently.
And 3 full innings gets you a save no matter what the score. A lot of guys down in that pen that haven't pitched in a while, though.
Yeah, might need some work. You're right. See how Counsell works it. Brewers haven't had many comfortable leads. Still time in this one, and certainly you don't put it in the books yet, but you can do some things as a manager in an 8-0 ball game that help you tune up for tomorrow and the days to come. The Brewers will have Thursday off as Woodruff walks Schebler. That's the first base runner for the Reds since the 4th inning after a Kirk Casale single. It had been 11 in a row retired between Miley and Hader and Woodruff. Hader was brilliant once again, struck out the side. His last 12 outs are strikeouts.
It was only a 4-0 lead at the time in the 6th inning when he came in. Actually, he was warming up, getting ready to come in the game when it was 1-0. So you get Hader loosened up. He's ready to get into a game. You don't sit him down and not bring him in.
There's a strike.
And once they get game loose, it's time you have to bring them in. And there's only 1 inning. It's only needed.
Peraza is 0 for 3. One and 2 the count. Woodruff has good stuff. He's a guy with a big arm, electric fastball. Broke into the Brewers rotation briefly last year. Was in the Brewers rotation earlier this season. You wouldn't say his progress has stalled. I think the Brewers have more experienced options, but he's a part of their future for sure, whether it be in the starting rotation or in the bullpen.
Good young arm. Corbin Burns. Another guy, Freddie Peralta.
Brewers have a lot of talent on the mound in their minor league system. Chopper over to third base. Moustakas will wait back, and he'll just get the speedy Peraza. First out of the inning. Schebler to second.
So Adrian Hauser in that mix.
Sure.
You saw Hauser up here a couple of times this year.
Zach Brown, the pitcher of the year from Biloxi, Double-A. Woodruff's only 25. Made 8 starts for the Brewers last year. Made 4 starts for him earlier this season. And a slider strike. His first start for the Brewers was memorable. That was against the Tampa Bay Rays on the road. And it looked like he wasn't going to make it out of the first inning in that game. Had the bases loaded. Throwing a ton of pitches.
No.
He ended up with 6 1/3 of scoreless ball against the Rays. He struck out 6.
He got himself in a lot of trouble, but got himself out. He left the bases loaded 2 different innings.
Yeah. He had 2 blow-up starts, which kind of ruptured his ERA, made his efforts last year look a little worse than they were. Actually gave up 6 earned runs against the Reds late in the season, just 2 1/3. That was his worst start. He had 2 outings where he gave up 6 earned runs. Other than that, he was excellent in his chances, showed a lot of poise in his first time around in the big leagues.
Nice and easy 98 that time.
Easy cheese.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why Joey Votto's still in an 8-0 game, he rarely comes out. I think Votto, I don't know if he's waiting for the music to stop or I'm not sure. He's looking back up here at the press box. I don't know.
Can't concentrate. This isn't golf.
Dean Roscoe says, I'll stop when you get in the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Votto's not coming out of games at this point. He's missed more than he wants anyway. He really didn't want to go on the disabled list. Reds kind of forced him to because he couldn't play. He could start a game but had trouble finishing a game. He was hit by a pitch on the knee and had a bone bruise. So they finally said, look, you're kind of hurting our roster here. There's a swing and a foul tip right into the mid-crats. A strikeout for Woodruff, out number 2.
Got him on a slider. It was right down the middle too. You can see Votto still looking up at the press box. He didn't like that organ. I guess now we know how to get him out. And Dean Roscoe is the key to the whole thing.
Man, I don't know what the tune was. Was it I Can't See Me Loving Nobody? I don't know.
I'm gonna go over and ask him. Keep playing it.
Happy Together was the
Yeah.
I guess that was the song. I think that was. I don't know. Didn't seem offensive.
So it's not exactly the pitches that gets Joey out. It's Dean Roscoe and his organ.
Well, I just made that up. I have no idea what he was looking up here for.
I'm going with it. 8-0. That's a good story.
I can see the headline now. Votto stares down organ player. He was actually looking in the wrong area, though.
I think he can handle himself. He's a pretty big guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I got my money on him.
Two 2-0 to Suarez. 2 outs in the 8th. Chopper to third base. Moustakas coming in. And the inning is over after a leadoff walk. Brandon Woodruff retires the next 3, including a strikeout of Votto. 8-0 Brewers.
3-0. Craig Kashan, Tim Dillard, and Jerry Augustine out here with us. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. Of course, we're going to spend a lot of time on Christian Yelich's second cycle, but our Badger Mutual Insurance pitcher of the game, we're going to focus on Josh Hader as well. The last 13 outs, guys, 13 strikeouts. How much does that dazzle you, that number alone, Tim?
I mean, that's unbelievable. You can clearly tell that guys cannot pick up the baseball. Even when he's not having a great night, it's still going to be very effective. They're not sure what's going on up there, and I think some batters are willing to just throw an at-bat away.
And right from there, Timmy, we talked about how he's gotten so effective the last month and a half and the way he's been throwing the baseball. And it comes with command. He's really been able to pitch both on the inside and outside part of the plate, elevating the ball when he needs to. And that breaking ball, he's throwing a lot more often, and it's been very effective.
And we're going to talk plenty more coming up after the ball game as well, BA. But these two pitchers ready to break down Hader and the cycle as well. 2 cycles for Christian Yelich. What a storyline. We'll hear from him on the field as well with Sophia's post-game interview. So lots to talk about. So far, so good here for the Brew Crew against the Reds in Game 1.
I think the patches got to stay, Craig. Those are going to be a fixture now. Your Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yeah, Pat Summerall loves this.
Your sportscaster patch, courtesy of Tim Dillard.
Yeah, we're in the 4th quarter.
Think how much arts and crafts time Dillard spent on those patches.
Did we get any of those?
I
didn't get that memo.
I think he's pretty well landlocked with his pre and post crew. Curtis Granderson with 1 away. Tim's done a great job. It's great to have him. He's got a haircut and everything.
Right.
Trimmed down the beard.
Looking professional out there.
Drove here from Nashville, did Tim Dillard. Couldn't wait to be here, so he took a 9-hour drive. 2 outs. 2 quick outs. Now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. There's only one place we can go tonight. That would be the 2 cycles this year for Christian Yelich.
Just an amazing performance for Christian Yelich. He's 4 for 4 tonight. When he hit for the cycle back in Cincinnati, he was 6 for 6. So that's 10 hits in 2 games, if my math is correct. And the toughest one, the triple, he gets at his last at bat here tonight.
You can't wipe that smile off his face since. I do have to make one amendment to the historical nature of the cycle. So that is the 5th cycle, but it is the 3rd in the modern era. There were 2 that were in the 1880s. Not that we just fully discount what happened prior to the turn of the century, but in the modern era, 3 cycles.
So you had to make sure that.
I just want to make sure that those
modern era thing.
Yeah, the historical ribbons are all tied up. It was a much different game. You know what? Back in the 1880s, they didn't even have fences. They just had horse and buggies out there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm glad you did that, because I had a couple of friends say, back in the 1980s, there was a couple.
In the 1880s.
Yeah. Did I say 19?
100 years before you caught a no-hitter, there was the first double cycle in a season by a guy named Tip O'Neill. Not that one, the baseball version. Inning is over. More fun with history when we continue from Miller Park. What a moment we have witnessed here tonight at Miller Park. It is a rare bird, the cycle, and to do it twice in a year. You think about all the games, all the players. Only the third time in the modern era.
Yeah.
Incredible. Christian Yelich lifted for a pinch hitter. Hernan Perez hit for him in that 8th inning, so he will finish his night a perfect 4 for 4 with the cycle, 4 RBIs. Brandon Woodruff will head back out to try to finish this one off. It is a save situation for Woodruff, as you saw Perez in the game in left field for Yelich. Blake Traha at the plate. First at bat of the day. Came in the game to play second. He's moved over to short since, and he lines one to left field. Don't forget, we're back at it tomorrow. All 3 of these games in the Red Series are 6:40 first pitch. So we're on the air tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Michael Lorenzen against Chase Anderson. Lorenzen's been pitching out of the Reds bullpen. He'll get the start tomorrow.
The question is, how long does Chase Anderson go? Brewers have not needed too many long starts. Chase has been keeping the opposition off the board, but hadn't gone too deep into games. And Michael Lorenzen spent most of the year in the Reds bullpen.
Phillip Ervin. Big swing and a miss. That slider is nasty.
That's where he wanted that slider to Traha. He left it up and he hit it hard in the left.
Throws it as hard as 89, 90 miles an hour. That one came in at 87. Looking for a 3-inning save here, Brandon Woodruff, and it would be just that. Save a bullpen. And everybody retooled for tomorrow. Broken bat, chance to turn it to end the game. Out at second, throw to first in time. That's 2 outs now. Not to end the game. To get 1 out, within 1 out of the game.
A lot of ground ball outs tonight by the Brewer pitching staff. An incredible amount of ground ball outs.
An out away is Brandon Woodruff. And it'll be Tim Fedorovich to hit. Came in the game defensively last inning.
This is completely unofficial, but 18 ground ball outs by the Brewers pitching staff. That's the way to do it.
How many did Hader have? He struck out the side.
Yeah.
Woodruff and Miley combining for all these ground ball outs. By the way, the 4 hits tonight for Yelich, combined with Scooter Gennett's night at the plate, 1 for 3. Yelich is tied at the top of the National League leaderboard in batting average, 318. There's a shot down the left field line, and the inning continues. Fedorovich on his way to second base with a 2-out double. So not only does Yelich hit his 31st home run of the year, he now has 93 runs batted in with his 4 RBIs tonight. And he is the National League leader in batting average, tied with Scooter Gennett as we begin play tomorrow.
Incredible.
This is a day after his on-base streak was snapped with an 0 for 4 yesterday.
And now a legitimate shot at 100 RBIs.
And a legitimate shot at a most valuable player award. Half swing, Mason Williams, strike 1. Brandon Woodruff is an out away from his first big league save. Pitching the final 3 innings. Just trying to do it in scoreless fashion. Brewers scored 3 runs in the 5th to make it 4-0. Added 4 in the 6th. And there's a base hit left field. Perez up with it. They'll hold the runner, Fedorovich. And the Reds are still alive in this 9th inning. 3rd hit of the inning.
All the guys up from the minor leagues getting the hits. Traha, Fedorovich, Williams now. Guys have big time intensity in situations like this. Major league level, trying to make an impression.
And here's Brandon Dixon now. Still 2 outs. Bullpen is quiet. This is Woodruff's game to finish. His 44th pitch. Cubs and Diamondbacks are underway in Arizona. No score in that one. 3rd inning. Diamondbacks have Patrick Corbin on the mound. Kyle Hendricks pitching for Chicago. Good pitching matchup there in that game.
Yeah.
St. Louis and Atlanta are in the 8th inning now. Cardinals lead at 6-5. Cardinals batting in the top of the 8th at SunTrust Park in Georgia. One ball, 1 strike. Dixon a swing and a miss. 1-2. The other game of interest, the Rockies and the Dodgers, not only battling for a division title but also that 2nd wild card spot. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead at Dodger Stadium. They're just underway in the bottom of the 1st. So you got some late night baseball on the West Coast to watch tonight. Woodruff trying to put this one to bed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Got him. That's it. The Brewers win. Christian Yelich, the headliner, with his 2nd cycle of the season. And the Brewers beat the Reds 8-0. Brandon Woodruff with his 1st career major league save. Wade Miley picks up the win. Now 5-2 and the 12th Brewers shutout of the season as the Brewers win on a historic night here at Miller Park.
Incredible offense tonight, and Christian Yelich certainly going to get all the accolades, and deservedly so. But don't forget about this Brewers pitching staff. They continue to be very good down the stretch here. Wade Miley, you got Hader, and Woodruff with the 3-inning save. So pitching just as good tonight.
Well, the Brewers in their Cerveceros uniforms have evened up their homestand now 2 apiece. And Christian Yelich, you're going to be seeing these highlights all night. 1st inning, a single to center field. Next time up, in the 3rd, it's a double over the glove of Joey Votto. And then the 2-run home run in the 5th made it 4-0 Brewers. Comes up in the 6th inning with a triple. Still yet for the cycle. Hits it into the gap and all the way to 3rd. The 2-run homer and the 2-run triple gives him a 4 RBI night. And Christian Yelich into the history books, and he's standing by with Sophia.
Thanks. Well, Christian, congratulations. A historic night You've done something that no player has done before, and that's hit for the cycle twice against the same team in one season. You're the first to do it. How do you describe what tonight was like?
I don't know. I have no idea how to describe that or what that feels like, but it was pretty awesome, and you guys are awesome.
That last at-bat, you came up, you hit the ball to the gap, but how much did you have to rely on your speed to make it to third for the triple?
I mean, I think all the credit goes to Grandy on that one for scoring. If he doesn't score, it's not a triple, so it was pretty cool. I mean, the ball's in the air, and you're kind of thinking, like, no way did that just happen again, and, it did. It was pretty cool.
You hear the chants of MVP when you hit for the cycle, now here after the game. What's your reaction to hearing these fans and the MVP campaign for you?
I don't know how to describe it, but you guys have been awesome. I really enjoyed playing here this year, and it's been an unbelievable season, and hopefully we can finish it off the right way.
More importantly, Christian, you guys win the game. You snap a 2-game losing streak. How much did you guys want to start off tonight in a good note?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, every win right now is big for us, especially going down the stretch. The guys came out and did well, especially after a tough finish to the Pittsburgh series, and we got out of the gates good here, and we got a couple more to finish it off.
All right, congratulations. Christian Yelich hits for the cycle yet again, the first to do it against the same team in a single season.
Yep, and just the third in Major League history, the modern era, to hit for the cycle twice in a year. What a year he is having. Christian Yelich with his 31st homer. Now 93 runs batted in. He is the league's leading hitter, by the way, showing up tomorrow, getting ready for game 2. What a performance. It's time for Brewers Live. Dim Tillard, he picked the right day to join Craig Deshawn and Jerry Augustine. Take it away, fellas.
Boy, you are not kidding, B.A. We're going to have some fun here in the next half hour, folks, talking more about Yelich and his new bicycle. We'll keep her rolling here tonight. Brewers Live presented by Freighter and Medical College of Wisconsin on the way.